If you're struggling to use idioms like a native and you're unsure or hesitant about it, this video is for you. By the end of this video, you'll be able to see 11 new idioms that you can start using right away. I'll give you examples with movie scenes as well, based on the situation and the context. If you don't know who I am, my name is Daniel Córdoba, owner of DC Fluency, where we help intermediate speakers to become advanced. And if you're advanced, we help you to find your fluency personality in English. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead here and change the settings. And here we go. So I have my presentation ready for you guys. Okay. So you freeze when you use the idioms. That's what's happening. But idioms are not a decoration, they're identity tools. They express how you see the world, right? A lot of people think that idioms make you sound more native, and that's true. But here's the thing, the real reasons people use idioms is because they're efficient. That means they're very, very good to use. So when someone says hit the nail on the head, by the way, that means fuiste el grano, right? You hit the nail on the head, right? You really made the point. You really said what needed to be said, right? It's not because you're trying to sound smart. It's you're expressing that they understood something perfectly, right? And they imagine it better. You hit the nail on the head, right? And it's connected to your personality. That's the most important part. By the way, if you are interested in live classes with natives who correct you, I have a 7-day free trial to my new course for you to try. Live classes twice per week with natives who correct you and a great community to keep you motivated. If you're interested, go down below and start your 7-day free trial. Now, here are the idioms. One is get the ball rolling. When do we use it? And I'm going to show you a movie example. We use it when you want to start something, especially in meetings, projects. It's a very natural way to say, let's begin, right? Now, something that a lot of people don't talk about when they teach idioms is that it's a very nice, soft way of showing that you're a leader. Because if you say, let's do this, let's get started, it's fine. But if you say, let's get the ball rolling, it's softer, it's more human, and you don't sound like un tirante, like a tyrant. That's very important. And that's one of the functions of using idioms, by the way. Okay, next one. On the same page. This is perfect for confirming and understanding in teams and meetings. When you say, let's make sure we're on the same page, you're checking to see that everyone understands the plan in the same way. And here's the thing, it's also used to soften. That's very interesting. You're using an idiom to soften, to make sure that everyone is understanding you, that you are on the same frequency, la misma frecuencia. Because it's better to say, are we on the same page, than saying, do we agree with each other, right? Or do we understand each other? Which, by the way, can be a little confrontational. Do we understand each other? No, not good. To touch base, use this when you want to reconnect briefly with someone, especially in a professional setting. Let's touch base next week means let's have a quick conversation to update each other. This is a mistake I see a lot of non-natives make, and they say, "I'll let you know." I'll let you know. You know what that means if you say "I'll let you know" to someone? You're. It kind of sounds like no, like a soft way of saying no. But if you say, let's touch base, you're letting them know, okay, I'm going to think about it. I'll let you know, and we're going to meet on at this day at this time. Let's touch base. Usually, you say it when you're going to touch base. Don't say, I'll let you know. If unless the answer is no, and you're trying to be polite, right? Okay, because then now you're lying. You're not going to let them know. The next one is up in the air. What does that mean? This describes something uncertain or undecided. It's up in the air, right? When plans are up in the air, they haven't been confirmed yet. So you could say the timeline is still up in the air. It's very useful for explaining uncertainty, como algo que no está seguro, without sounding negative. Do not use it when you need to sound definitive or in control, right? And now let's look at a few examples. Let's look at up in the air first. Up in the air. Let's see how the people use it.
The shotgun, you man, just so you fly up in the air, man. Okay, now.
We have to be more specific. Is up in the air.
But bullshit, if you'll excuse the expression, expands to Philly a lot of times, so now Barbados is up in the air.
Barbados, meaning the vacation to Barbados is up in the air, right? Or whatever was going to happen in Barbados is up in the air. So you don't even have to be so specific. You can just say the topic is up in the air. Because if you think about it, he could have said, so now going to Barbados is up in the air. Or he could have said, so now flying to Barbados is up in the air. But no, he said, so now Barbados is up in the air. So let's say you were going to go to Colombia. And now you're not going to go. You're not sure. Are you going to go to Colombia? Well, Colombia is up in the air right now because da 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 da. See? Very, very native. Very, very native. Let's look at the next one. Let me see. A lot of these have to do with flights. Your job.
So, if your job is up in the air, is there any reason that you're rushing back right after Christmas?
There we go. If your job is up in the air, right? Meaning you're not sure if you're going to keep it. You might keep it, you might not, etc. Right? It's up in the air. How about touch base? Let's look at touch base together. And I can give you some context about it. In the meantime, if you want to write a sentence,
you can touch base with him first.
Harry's a little nervous, and I am a little bit too.
That was a little old movie.
I'm working hard, but I guess I've just been a little preoccupied with things, but I'll make sure and touch base with her.
Notice this, I'll make sure and touch base with her. He could have said, I'll make sure to touch base with her, but sometimes there's a difference between using and to. We'll talk about that in another class. Next phrase was, let's go to get the ball rolling, right? Get the ball rolling. Let's see here.
I'll get the ball rolling.
Steven's going to get the ball rolling.
I just need to get the ball rolling, as it were.
That's very common too, using as it were after an idiom. Very common. Es como decir por así decirlo, right? There are different ways of introducing an idiom, or you can say, you know what they say, and then you say an idiom, un dicho, right? Or as it were, or so to speak, right? So to speak. If you're ever afraid of using an idiom because of the context, use so to speak at the end of the idiom. And it's kind of like even if it wasn't going to make a lot of sense, using so to speak makes it make more sense. Does that make sense? Right? So I'll give you an example, right? So let's say I want to use up in the air, but I don't know if I'm using it in the right context. I can say, yeah, the whole situation's up in the air, so to speak. Right? So to speak makes it sound like this is a good idiom. Okay. Now let's go into 4 idioms for opinions and perspective. We looked at other opinions that are common. Now let's look at opinions and perspectives specifically. Remember, context is very important. Take it with a grain of salt. Some of these you might know. To take it with a grain of salt means to be cautious about believing something, right? So you're suggesting they shouldn't fully trust that information. And here's the thing. You can even use it on yourself. So I'll give you 2 examples, right? I can say, you know Francisco? Yeah, I know Francisco. Okay. Well, anything he tells you, take it with a grain of salt because he doesn't really do his research when he says things. Take it with a grain of salt. Like when you're putting salt, you put a little bit, little by little. You just want to be careful with the information. Same thing. But I can even do it as a softener to protect my reputation. So I can say, someone asks me an opinion, right? They say, hey, what happened to Fulano? What happened to this guy? Why did he go to jail? And I say, well, I'm not really too sure about the whole situation. So what I'm going to say, take it with a grain of salt. Boom. But I heard that he killed someone, right? I'm protecting my reputation, right? In linguistics, that has a name. That's called epistemic modality, right? Epistemic modality. Yeah. No. That's called evidentiality. Don't worry about that. But the point is, you're protecting yourself. And in fact, there are some languages, algunos idiomas, where you cannot speak unless you say where the information came from. Right? Very, very interesting. Okay, so let's go. But take that with a grain of salt, by the way, because I'm not sure how those languages do it. You saw how I used it? Okay. All right. Next one is to see the bigger picture. This is how you suggest stepping back from the details to understand the overall situation. When you say we need to see the bigger picture, you're asking people to think strategically, right? Let's step back and see the bigger picture. It's like, let's say you have a picture in front of you. You can't see everything. But if you step back, then you can see the bigger picture and the whole details, everyone's perspective, etc. Right? And another one is to play it by ear. You use it when you want to stay flexible and make decisions as you go. If plans are unclear, you might say, let's just play it by ear. It signals adaptability. It's great for informal situations, but can be too casual in professional environments. So be careful with this one. Let's play it by ear, right? Let's touch base next week, but we'll play it by ear. We'll see how things go. Right? You use it when you're not sure how the meeting is going to go, right? So, do you want to meet tomorrow? What time? 5 o'clock. I'm not sure because 5 o'clock I'm going to be working. Let's play it by ear, and then I'll let you know tomorrow, right? We'll touch base tomorrow. To call it a day. This is to wrap something up. This is how you suggest stopping work in a natural, friendly way. When you say let's call it a day, you're signaling it's time to wrap up. All right, let's call it a day. It's decisive but not harsh. Again, a part of using idioms is being able to be a leader, right? Or lead in maybe not always, but in certain situations you're going to lead. And to sound like no brusco. All right, let's call it a day. Let's wrap it up. It's better than saying, okay, let's go home, right? All right, let's call it a day. Usually people will use it like that. All right, let's go here and put here, call it a day.
Says that they can't fix his car until they get another part, and it's going to be hours, so he says to just call it a day.
You know, if this creep wants us dead so bad, why doesn't he just put a bullet in our head and call it a day? Huh?
So let's go to the next phrase, and it's to play it by ear. So let's go here. And remember, the purpose of this is to see how others use it so that you can use it as well in the same way.
Maybe,
based on your identity.
we should just play it by ear for a little bit and see what happens.
Just play it by ear, see what happens.
Look at that. Twice in a row, we see what happens after play it by ear. Let's play it by ear, see what happens.
Maybe, we should just play it by ear for a little bit and see what happens.
Just play it by ear, see what happens.
That's amazing. This is the first time I learned that these two phrases can be paired with each other, or it's common.
Yeah, we can just play it by ear.
Let's play it by ear.
Let's see how often it's used with see what happens. No, okay.
Just play it by ear, see what happens. I'm gonna play it by ear, see what happens.
It's common. It's common. Common enough. Okay. And we'll have take it with a grain of salt. We'll do that one. To take it with a grain of salt.
So, whatever he told you about me, I would take it with a grain of salt.
You should probably take it with a grain of salt, though, because...
You gotta take it with a grain of salt.
I only want to take it with a grain of salt.
Also like this drink, so take it with a grain of salt.
And everything is scared to say.
Okay, so we see how that goes. All right, let's go to the next one. 2 more idioms for momentum and decisions. To move the needle. This means making real measurable progress. Oh, I'm tiny again. We'll get bigger. Okay, there we go. If something moves the needle, it creates noticeable impact. So you can say, I don't think that strategy will move the needle, right? It's very corporate. I've heard corporate people use it, right? But it means making real measurable progress. And the other one is at the end of the day. I think that one's a little bit basic for you guys. But, at the end of the day, but let's look at to move the needle, because that one's a very, very good one. Move the needle.
Just move the needle a little bit.
A victim impact statement from you could help move the needle.
Let's move the needle.
Yes, but
Troy, we have a property that can really move the needle for New York.
if you think $5,000 is gonna move the needle on me, you're dead wrong.
With that can be used with move the needle on me.
Free case is not going to move the needle, no matter how worthy it is.
That won't move the needle, no.
But if we can move the needle.
The donation that Beyonce made is significant to help us actually move the needle on mental health.
If you think this program will move the needle for you, I hope you get it.
Okay, so we're seeing how it's used. And my dear students, again, if you want a 7-day free trial in my community, taking live classes with natives who correct you, click the link down below. It says 7-day free trial, and there's a link there. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video, share with your friends who also want to learn idioms, and subscribe for daily fluency tips. That's all for now. See you next time.